Alright everyone, I am in my tent, believe it or not. This is the Kelty Circuit 2 backpacking tent. It's only available at Dick's Sporting Goods and Field & Stream, but I'll tell you right now, I talked to Kelty and there is no difference between this tent and the Salida 2. Salida, whatever you want to say. But alright, we're just doing a stealth overnight in my yard. It ought to be fun. Just wanted to go over a few things. Like I said, this is the Kelty Circuit 2. I'm going to be trying out my new sleeping pad here. I recently got this at the outdoor show in Harrisburg. It is the Klymit Static V Lite. You see there? So there is snow on the ground. My butt is cold right now because I'm just sitting on the ground. So this only takes like 10 to 15 breaths to blow up. Let's blow this up. We'll see what it looks like as it unfolds here. Well, this is our. Let me go over this first. This is going to be our sleeping pad. Obviously, I got the Static X Recon pillow from Klymit. That's going to be my pillow for tonight. And I'm also going to be using my Snug Pack hammock quilt. This is pretty warm, so I like it a lot. Alright, let me just find the nozzle for this, and we will start blowing it up. There it is. Alright. And of course, I have to move the camera now, because it's in the way. Let me put it over there. Okay. You still see me? Awesome. Alright. Let's start blowing this thing up. We're at 9. Let me spread it out. That's probably good. Let's do one more for 10. Okay, that was 10. And there you go. Ooh, I'm getting a little lightheaded. Hold on. Alright, I think I'm okay. And I'm not trying to moon you or anything like that. This is supposed to be an insulated pad, and you could tell that I do not tent camp often because I'm right now laying with my head downhill. So I have to flip this thing around. So, but, alright, instead of doing that, let's keep on going with the gear that I'm using on this trip. The trip to the backyard, that is. Alright, let me pull out this is the Klymit Recon Pillow X. I think it only takes like 3 breaths to blow this thing up. Two breaths, and that thing's blown up. Alright, now, let's go this way. Now, the low for tonight is supposed to be 15 degrees. That's why I am out here. I want to test this setup to see if I can take it down this low, or if I ever wanted to. Now this is the same tent that I used with Kathy's first backpacking overnight. It was same tent, just we only used it that once. I don't think I ever slept in it before that. I think that was the only night I've ever slept in this tent. So I don't tent enough to where I feel that I need to go and buy, you know, a $600 Z-Pex duplex or even an REI quarter dome, because this tent itself comes in at like 4 pounds 2 ounces, which, you know, is not the lightest thing in the world. But if you have 2 people and you split it, you're 2 pounds a piece. Come on, that's lighter than any hammock setup, really. Well, that's not including a sleeping pad and stuff like that. You get that. But, alright, let's pull out this quilt. Now, I love these quilts. This quilt. This is the Snug Pack. Oops, phone fell out. This is the Snug Pack hammock quilt, right? It's got this nice big foot box on it. Can you see that? It's a sewn foot box. And the other thing that's really nice about these Snug Packs is that they're made with the material that's antimicrobial, so it won't stink or anything like that. So, obviously the foot box goes down there, and also, with this blanket, it has these wings on it. Can you see that? These are to shove underneath your back and like butt area in order to keep the quilt underneath you. I think it works really well. When I originally got this, I wanted to cut these off. I was like, oh, that's extra weight. Holy crap, am I glad I have them, because they're just sweet. Now, one thing I'm going to do also is, just for in case I need it if it gets cold out there tonight, I really don't want to go in the house if I don't have to, but I have a Costco down quilt with me. Now, what I normally do with this, I do this in the hammock. I do this in the hammock. I'll show you. I'll take this Costco down quilt, right, and I will shove it in the foot box of this Snug Pack. Then, I don't know if I can do it here. We'll try it and see what happens. Alright. Get my feet in the foot box. Say I'm laying down. Well, I am laying down, obviously. Say I'm laying down. I'll get this Snug Pack all nice and curled up around me. Right? Now, what I'll do is this. That Costco down quilt is down around my feet. I just reach down and bring it up underneath the Snug Pack, like so. And there, now I have two layers. I have, a synthetic layer on top with a down layer in the middle, which is actually bad because that can absorb condensation and stuff like that. But here, I'll show you. Let me flip this down. You see how there's the Snug Pack and there's that. I just thought that was a little neat trick that I do. And like I said, this is all nice and lofty now and stuff like that. But I'm really curious to see about how this, let's move this here a little bit like that. I'm really curious to see how this setup works for me tonight. So I'll be sleeping with my head where the camera is and see how it goes out. Now this Klymit Static V has an R value of 4.4, which is pretty decent, and it weighs 19.6 ounces, which is not bad for an insulated sleeping pad. I mean, it's not no is it the Thermarest? I don't exactly remember, but you get the gist of it. So I'm really curious. Like I said, I am sleeping on snow. I can go and get my Thermarest Z-Lite and put it underneath this for double insulation, but I really want to test the limits of the pad. So that would kind of be taking the pad out of the equation to an extent, because that's an extra insulating layer. What if I was caught somewhere and I didn't have that? Let's use this as that kind of a scenario. So, alright. Alright. Well, just gonna relax here for a few, and then I'm gonna go and hit Rocket's livecast in a little bit. Well, first make supper, then hit Rocket's livecast, and then I will be back out here. Alright guys, we'll see you later. Alright everybody, I'm in the tent right now. It's chilly out. I had to put another breath into the air mattress because not that it deflated because it has a leak, but just the air temperature of my breath, of course it kind of shriveled up a little bit. So I'm wearing everything right now that I would normally be wearing if I was out backpacking. I have my set of Baffin socks on. I have my hat, got my down jacket. I'm wearing just an Under Armour thermal shirt with a normal synthetic shirt over the top of that, with my Patagonia pullover fleece and my REI down jacket. This is what I would normally wear if I was backpacking, and I want to make it as real as possible. No thermal pants or anything like that, just my regular hiking pants that are, you know, real thin. They're convertible. They're like Columbia convertible pants. So I have that. I do have one thing also, is I have a hand warmer, and I'm going to throw that in the foot box of my quilt, just you know, for a little bit added heat in there. And I also I grabbed my clothes bag and I threw a pair of shorts and a shirt in there, just like what I would normally have if I was backpacking myself, just to put as a pillow in addition to that X-Recon pillow that I have, just for a little more comfort, you know. So alright, well, I'm going to call it a night. I'm going to listen to an audio, probably watch some YouTube videos with some headphones in, and I will get you guys back in the morning and tell you how I made out. Oh, and I'm wearing my fleece face mask too, so I look like, you know, boo. Alright, we'll catch you later. Bye. Well, everyone, was that good acting or not? Yeah. Well, needless to say, this is why it's a very good idea to test your gear up before you actually take it out into the field. I would call this a successful failure, because I ended up having to retreat back to the house about 1 a.m. I got cold, you know. Tried shifting some stuff around, but my biggest thing was this pad. It, like I said, it has an R value. What's it say here? An R value of 4.4, but apparently that's just not high enough to do directly on the ground like this. I probably have to put like a Thermarest Z-Lite or something underneath it, because I was fine on top, but the cold was coming right up through the pad and right into me. And it's funny because this same setup with the top blankets and the Costco, I started out with just the top blanket, and then after I got cold, I pulled up the Costco quilt. I was completely fine on top. It was my underneath that was really sucking the heat out of me. The same setup, I've had it down to 0 degrees in my hammock with no issues at all. So it's kind of kind of disappointing that this pad isn't up to the same standards as my 0 degree hammock gear underquilt. But like, then again, I'm not a typical ground dweller. I could be doing something completely wrong. I don't know. We'll see what happens. So, but this is why it's very important to test out your gear before you actually take it out into the backcountry. Somebody who you know, critique and make sure everything is going to go in your favor. So, and one thing that was horrible that sucks is this Pillow X-Recon. I don't know if it would be any different for any other pad, but I could not get this thing to stay still. It was all over the frickin' place. It was driving me insane, to the point where I threw it, and I was just using my clothes bag here as a pillow, but that wasn't enough. I tried deflating it a little bit, Still didn't do anything. It was just all over the place. It was driving me insane. So, like I said, about 1 a.m., after about a half an hour of trying different things, I was like, you know what, I'm going to call it, and I'm glad I did when I did. The low got down to about 20 degrees, and as you guys know, I could sleep in 20-degree weather all day long on my hammock, but it was just killing me here. Like I said, I think what I have to do is get my Thermarest Z-Lite and put it underneath this pad for winter camping on the like this. But so, well, I guess the next test is gonna have to be around 40 degrees. What do you guys say? It's not gonna hurt. But this is, like I said, I'm gonna repeat again. This is why it's very important to test your gear out before you take it out, because if you're out in the backcountry and you start going hypothermic, things aren't going to turn out so well. So, well, I think we all learned a lesson here, and yeah, so this was a great experience for me. Got to see how it went. So, with that said, we will talk to you later on. Any questions or comments or tips, let me know, and please subscribe if you will. And we'll catch you later. Ciao.